I was excited to watch a YouTube video yesterday from Observable Flutter that had Matt Carroll on it. He was talking about the Static Shock Dart-based static website generator. I've used some static website generators in the past, Jekyll for a little bit, and recently Hugo for my personal blog. And I was excited to hear about a static website generator that is written in Dart, being a Flutter and Dart dev. So I thought I would show you what I've been investigating and kind of some ways I've been going about learning about the core functionality of this package. So I've got a empty directory here. Static Shock comes with this command line tool, and I've already installed that, and so I can go shock and it's going to give me some information about that. First one here is the create I want to use, and I can create a blog or documentation or an empty project. I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and let's see, it's going to say pick a name. I'm just going to go with empty and some description. Empty, don't really care. And then current directory, yes, I'm in a directory called empty, super original. And that's been generated. We're all good. And I'm not going to initially build it, so I'm going to say no. And so this is what I've got. And I can come in here and I can, let's see, already got empty and we're right here. And I can go into bin. So what's been created here from this static shock create command is it creates this bin folder with a main in it. What we've got here is a static shock instance and some components that get loaded into it, and then it is used to generate the site. As you can see, there's some errors here. That's because the Dart pub get still needs to be ran to pull down the information from the pubspec YAML, which points to this static shock package. So again, go in the main, and what happens here is that from the source directory, this is a pretty boring site, thus an empty one, that everything with HTML gets pulled, and everything that is in the image directory. And then we've got some plugins here that will give us some base functionality for our site. So if I go shock, well, actually I'll go shock serve, and that's going to build the website and host it locally at the same time. So I can go ahead and open up that, and there's our website there. Pretty boring and empty again. Oh, and another thing that this shock serve does is it's going to watch the file directory, and so whenever I change the source files here, it will detect that and then rebuild the website and reload it. So I can go in here and go ABC 1 2 3, and eventually that's going to be detected here. File system change, it modified or rebuilds, and we should see ABC 1 2 3 here. So that's pretty basic. Another thing I can do here is, because we have this markdown plugin, I can come into the source, I can add a file, go f1.html, markdown, it's markdown, and then I'm going to come in here and put in a title for this markdown. How about markdown 1, and then I'm going to go, this is some markdown text, and just to show that, I'll go header A. Okay, so as you can see in the background here, those files are being detected, or the changes are being detected. The rebuild is being run, and now in the build directory, we have this F1 directory that has taken this f1.md markdown file and converted it to some HTML. Also, I can go to F1 here in my URL, and if I execute that, I'm going to see this HTML page. All right, the next thing I wanted to do was to pull out as much as I can, just know exactly what that bare minimum is. It just helps me understand the components a little bit more and just where to build from. And there's not all this overhead. I think some people come into software and they come up with these super complicated hello world examples when really all you want is just a bare minimum to start with. So that's what I'm going to do. So I've created this new directory called ABC123. So what I'm going to do is open up both of these directories in Finder, and I'm just going to drag, copy the bare minimum here. I'm also going to create make dir bin, command line junkie, come in here, copy this. I guess if I was a junkie I would be copying this command line. All right, so there's just those guys, right? I think that's all I need. Oh, and then I'm going to make dir source, make dir build. Okay, so that's some very basics here. We can keep the name, that's fine. But what I want to do in the bin here is I don't care about images. I'm not going to deal with images. And then I'm not going to deal with this file and then all of this stuff. I'm going to get rid of, and just these 4 components here. In this case, I'm going to go dart pub get. It should detect the YAML file, pull in the components I need into this dart tool configuration JSON file. And so now the main is all happy. So what we've got here now is, again, we've got it's going to pick any file that has HTML in it. It's going to have the markdown. And actually, let's do this just to showcase a point here. So now I can go shock serve. I don't know what's going to happen here. I haven't tried this. I'm assuming it's just going to sit there because there's nothing to serve up. So even if I went to here, I'll get an error, I assume. Yeah, no file found. Okay, that's cool. Because what I want to do is I want to come into source. I want to create a new file, and we're going to call it index.html. So it'll automatically be picked up. And we'll go HTML, body, and then I'll go ABC123. And so now if I come back here and refresh, ABC123. Great. So now it has built it and put the file into the build directory. So if I do the same thing I did before, come in here and I go file1.markdown, and then within the markdown I'll go title file1, and then I'm going to do XYZ 987, and so it's going to create again HTML file with XYZ 987. But if I come in here, and before I was just able to do file1, it says it's not found because there's some redirection logic, I believe, that needs to happen. Well, actually, I think the problem is that it's file1.html that I'm looking at that. So if I go HTML, okay, now it finds it. But with this plugin that I erased earlier, if we add that back in, I wonder if it's going to run this whole thing. Well, I guess we'll know real quick. Yeah. So see, it moved file1 HTML. It switched over to index.html, moved it into the file1 directory. So now we can bypass using this .html. It'll pick up that index.html in the file1 directory, and it will show it to us. All right. And if I go ABC123, that'll get picked up, and hopefully rebuilding the website. And let's see, is it going to do it? There it goes. Okay, cool. As Matt Carroll was saying, it's a warm reload during the observable YouTube video. I'll put the links to that below, and yeah. All right, so there's that. So the last thing I wanted to show was from the Static Shock website. I can go to, oh, that's not where I wanted to go. Oh boy, from the Static Shock website, API docs, I want to go to the package. There we go. Okay. This is mostly where I wanted to go, and the GitHub over here. Now that we have the GitHub of the project, I can copy the URL, the GitHub URL, and I'm going to go development. And I did have it here at one point. I removed it just now. All right, so if I go ls, don't have it. Git clone. I can clone the repo locally, which is good. I can go cd static shock pwd. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this guy. Boop, that's the path. Actually, ls I want to go packages. And then this is the actual Static Shock code under here that I want to get to. You can see the command line tools here and some docs. But I want to go here, get that path. And then what I can do, come up here. Let's go ahead and close those. Get this. Oh, nope. Actually, I want to get this. And I want to go path and use that path instead. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just because it feels weird to have multiple things going on here once, I'll go ahead and close that for now. And then I'm going to go dart pub get just to make sure that this runs. If I'd gotten that path wrong there, like if I would have gone, well, first of all, this would have complained. But second of all, if I would have done that, then I would have got this error. Well, it would have failed here. Kind of surprised that didn't give us an error. But it certainly did not get us everything we want. Anyway, we know that that's the wrong path. So I can do this. And all right. Okay. Kind of wondering what happened there. Oh, wait. Because I'm in the wrong place. Sorry. pwd. I would have done dart pub get here. Okay. That gets the dependencies. Let's try this again because I was expecting to get an error. There we go. Yes. Okay. So it's saying that that directory isn't right. Excuse me, the file path. So if I do this, and now this is pointing to the repo that I just downloaded from GitHub, or cloned, I guess, and downloaded. Let's see. So if I open up another window, and then I open, and I do have it here anyway, but this is a fresh repository. And all right, so there's one thing I got to remember to do here. So if you go into documentation, after we pull down the repo, we want to do this Melos bootstrap. BS is a shorthand for that, and that will run the bootstrap, and it will clean up at least the packages directory. And that's the one I'm most interested in. I'm not sure about why the sources. It could be, well, same reason, right? I guess. Where am I at? So if I go up one, nope, up one more to there. Then we go into template sources, ls, and then specifically sources. Well, let's just try a dart pub get from here. Nope. So I need to go template, blog, and then dart pub get. That should get everything for that directory, given this pub spec YAML. I could point to the, well, no, it does point to a local one. It points up. So it goes up to directories and then goes in the packages directory. So could do the same thing, but that's not really what I'm here for. What I'm interested in showing is if I go into, well, actually, and I don't know if I'm showing this code big enough. Darn it, I keep on forgetting to do that. So there we go. That's bigger code. Make this code bigger. Bad YouTuber. Okay, so specifically, this static shock calls this package or this class here, static shock class, and then the method generates site off of that object. Let's get rid of some of this noise. Go ahead and move that over here. And so if I come into infrastructure, static shock, here's the class with a bunch of options for the constructor, which I'll have to investigate. But the more interesting thing in my mind, generate site method. Here we go. So if I just do something super silly here, print MGM was right here. Let's make it really obvious. And so then if I come back to here, if I go, whoops, got to do that right. Bloop. And if I go shock serve again, that should build the website by generating it. And if all is good here, I can see MGM was right here. So now I can come in and add debug statements. I can change code and play with the package, or maybe even modify the existing plugins and try them out, or make my own plugin. I haven't investigated the plugins at all, so that is an interesting endeavor there. Oh yeah, we can come in and mess with all of the code here. Okay, before I get too out of line, that's mostly what I wanted to show. Well, I guess one more thing here. So not only can I just print this information here, that doesn't really do anything, but if I go back into the static shock, I can come in here to pick all source files, and I can do something like number of source files, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab all of the source files, the source file list here, and dot length. Right, so if when that reruns, actually I'm not patient enough, because it won't rerun because it's watching the source directory of the website and not the file I just changed. So if I go dart bin main, if I run that, it's going to do the same thing, building the website again, and it's going to show not only my initial print, but it should show that I've got two source files there, the markdown file and the index file. So there you go. That's where I'm at with Static Shock. I'm excited to explore it more. My first endeavor is to make a single page website that I can wrap my Klondike Flutter web app in, and maybe add some Google Analytics to the page, add maybe some Google AdSense, and so being able to do those things in a static website builder would be pretty cool. And then also I've got my blog, Michael Maitland, let's see, what is it? There it is. That again was written in Hugo, and so I'd like to port the content from here over to this Static Shock, and be able to use my Dart skills to see what I can do. So cool. That's it. Have a good one. Thanks for your time. Bye.